And we are back. Welcome to my Europa League semi-final first leg preview and predictions. This is the second of my 3 prediction videos for European competitions this week. Yesterday we did the Champions League semi-final first legs taking place tonight and tomorrow. You can check that video out at the top of your screen right now. Make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss tomorrow's video covering the 2 Europa League semi-finals. And of course, drop a like on this video if you do enjoy all of my preview and prediction series. These are the 2 matches that we have got taking place on Thursday night. As you can see, we've done okay in the Europa League, 95 out of 184, 15 correct scores. We actually did really well in the Europa League quarterfinals. There's only 1 game that we actually got wrong in regards to the second legs, and obviously we'll talk about that team shortly. But without any further ado, let's get straight into it. We have got these 2 matches. They're both taking place at the same time, so we'll do it alphabetically, which means the opening game is Bilbao taking on Manchester United. As you can see, 2nd versus 3rd when it comes to the league phase. This is actually the closest of all 3 competitions. We obviously had PSG who finished a long way down in the Champions League, and we'll talk about the side that finished a little bit lower down in the Conference League tomorrow. But it's 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 9th when it comes to the Europa League. And this is the battle of 2nd versus 3rd. And look, Bilbao got here after progressing to the semi-finals by beating Rangers 2-0 over the course of the 2 legs. 0-0 away, 2-0 victory at home. And to be honest, they did dominate the vast majority of both of those legs. Manchester United, don't really remember how they got to this semi-final position. Let me know in the comments if you can remember what happened in terms of Manchester United qualifying for these semi-finals. Obviously, we all know how incredible that night was against Lyon. In terms of the actual form of these 2 sides, though, it is definitely Bilbao that have the better of things coming into this match. Around their 2 quarter-final games, they have won 2 of their last 3 games in La Liga. The only game they didn't win was a 93rd minute goal from Real Madrid. An incredible goal from Fede Valverde, but again, it proved how good defensively Bilbao are. They are playing some very, very solid stuff at the moment. We did mention in the last round of having a fair few 0-0 draws recently, but critically, they don't concede many goals. And that is a good stat to have at the moment coming up against Manchester United, who are still desperately struggling to score goals. And if you actually look at Manchester United's form, even though they have had that incredible win against Lyon a couple of weeks ago, and they've had a couple of good away draws in recent times as well, they've actually not won a single game in 90 minutes in any of their last 7 matches in all competitions. And like I say, they are really struggling to score goals at the moment. So in my opinion, certainly this away leg, I don't think there's any realistic chance of Manchester United getting a win in this leg. I really do think there's no actual chance of Manchester United scoring in this opening leg unless Bilbao do make some significant mistakes. But Manchester United do have relatively good performances in away matches, in big matches this season. You think of the performances at Anfield, the Emirates, and of course against Manchester City, where they actually got the win away at Manchester City. However, in that same breath, you look at the recent away performance against Newcastle and how they did against Bournemouth at the weekend, where they try and play out from the back and give away chances to a side that can put a high press on them. It does worry me with the pace that Athletic Bilbao have up front. If they try and press Manchester United, it could be a real problem. In terms of injuries and suspensions for Bilbao, it looks like Sanche is going to be another player who is going to be injured once again. He's been sort of rushed back on several occasions this season and has never really got back to full fitness. So it looks like he is going to miss certainly this first leg. But the good news for them is both of the Williams brothers are back. Inaki came back and scored at the weekend. Nico came off the bench, and both are expected to start this one. For Manchester United, still an awful lot of injury problems. The most recent one, as we know from the weekend, is Diogo Dalot. He looks set to potentially miss the remainder of this season. De Ligt and Ahmad are back in training, but as things stand, they're not set to make it for this match. I just don't, like I said, I don't see United getting anything from this game. I really don't. The question is, can they take a good enough result back to Old Trafford to win it in the second leg? Hopefully, as a Manchester United fan, we hope and pray that that is exactly what happens, but I'm not going to give us any chance in this opening leg. I think there's a chance of a 0-0 draw, but I'm going for 1-0 Bilbao. I don't see United getting a clean sheet here. Bilbao obviously playing for the right to play in their home stadium for the final as well. So I think they're going to be well up for it. Hopefully United can get something from it. But for me, Bilbao take this opening leg. And whilst that game is going on, back in England, it will be Tottenham taking on Bodo Glimt. The Spurs, they were the team that produced, in my opinion, the shock result of those second legs, going away to Frankfurt and getting the victory. It was the only prediction I got wrong in terms of those second legs. But all around those two quarter-final legs, Spurs have lost every single game in the Premier League and have not looked anything like a side in any form whatsoever in any of those matches, which of course culminated in an absolute battering by Liverpool at Anfield at the weekend. It was a 5-1 win for Liverpool, which obviously secured the league title for Liverpool. Yes, Spurs did make a few changes, most notably to their centre-back partnership of Romero and Van der Ven, neither of them playing. But it was 5-1 and it could have been a hell of a lot more. And obviously not only that, they lost at home to Wolves, and they lost at home to Nottingham Forest and lost 4-2 away to Wolves. So they're really not playing good stuff at the moment. Bodo, on the other hand, they have been outstanding. They keep producing results after results after results in this tournament. And their second leg performance against Lazio, if anything, deserves even more credit than the home result they got a few weeks earlier, because they went 2-0 down against Lazio and they still, in extra time, well, firstly, they nearly held Lazio all the way out for 1-0 in the first place. It was a last-minute equaliser to force extra time, but to then go and get themselves another goal, to make it go all the way through to penalties, a fair play to them, and then to win the game on penalties with 10 men, no less, after Hermansen got the equaliser and then got sent off. They seriously deserve some credit. They are a very, very good side in this competition. They are fighting for their lives. They're the first Norwegian side ever to qualify for a European semi-final, but as we've just mentioned, that result against Lazio did come at a cost. It wasn't just Hermansen that got sent off, meaning he'll be suspended, but both Berg and Evgen, who have played basically 90 minutes in every game that matters this season for them, both picked up yellow cards, meaning they have had an accumulation of yellow cards, meaning they are both suspended from this first leg as well. Meanwhile, Tottenham have no fresh injury or suspension concerns coming into this, and are desperately hoping that Heung-min Son is going to be making it back for this one. He has not featured since the first leg against Frankfurt. That's how long he has been out, but all the rest of their other players are available for this one. In terms of the match itself, I do think Spurs have to be considered the real strong favourites here. Yes, we've mentioned how poor their recent form is, and what I didn't mention is that Bodo Glimt had a really good run of form domestically since their victory over Lazio, winning 2 games and drawing 1. But their away record in this competition has been absolutely shambolic. It's their home form that has got them into this position. They have won every single one of their home games in the knockout phases of this competition, but they have lost every single one of their away games in the knockout phase of this competition. And in the last 2 rounds, they've had the home leg first. So for Spurs, it's an opportunity to really go for it in this opening leg and try and put this game out of sight. But as we mentioned in the Lazio game, Bodo know how to dig in and produce a good enough result to give them something to fight for. So we shall see. I would be shocked if Spurs don't win this opening leg. It's just going to be a question of how much by and what can Bodo take back to Norway for that second leg. I think they're going to take back an awful lot of a chance to give themselves the opportunity to get that victory. I'm still going to go for Spurs, but I'm only going to go for 2-1. I think Spurs need at least a 2 or 3 goal lead to take back to Norway if they're actually going to get through. We know how good Bodo can be on their home pitch. As always, let me know all your thoughts down in the comment section below. I generally think this is a fascinating couple of fixtures. I definitely think the home sides should be considered the strong favourites to win both of these games, but the away sides do have a very good opportunity to take a good result back for the home legs next week. Like I say, let me know down in the comment section what you think. Let me know anything you think I've missed regarding these fixtures. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to check out yesterday's Champions League video and tomorrow's Europa Conference League video. Hopefully, I'll see you there.